So we've had 6 new hard drives arrive this week. Most of them are from the late 80s. They are the big 5¼ inch bricks. 4 of them are MFM, 2 of them are SCSI. We need to test them out. So what I've done here is I've set myself up a little 286. Now I particularly like this machine just because it boots really fast and the built-in diagnostics is absolutely amazing. I'll show you guys it once we actually get some drives hooked up and how we go about testing them. One of the biggest problems with people is when they get an MFM drive, they plug it into a computer, they turn the computer on, nothing happens, they think the drive's broken. The low-level format is almost necessary whenever you move controllers, or types of controllers anyway. So with these 4 drives, I'm not expecting any of them to boot up or do anything interesting at all. There's a small chance that they will if the person who previously owned them had the same type of controller as me, but to be honest, I'm expecting to low-level format all of them, and I'm just going to show you how I do that with this little guy. Because this 286 it's one of the earliest versions of the AMI BIOS, and it's got extensive low-level formatting and diagnostics routines. It's one of the coolest motherboards. It was given to me by another collector. It was very generous. It's a 286-16 and it's in brand new condition. I mean, this thing doesn't have a scratch on it. The original NiCad battery is still in there and it hasn't leaked a drop. Although as you can see by the screen here, if I zoom you in, it's not doing a very good job of retaining the CMOS data, but it did, when I powered it up, it did remember that the screen was monochrome and it did remember that there was a 20 meg hard drive in it before. So we've got our MFM cables hanging out the front, so I'm just going to go get those drives. Okay, so first up we've got an XT-1085 Maxtor. So this is 85 megabytes. It's got a date from the original company, 26 September 1989. Now the big problem I've had with these big Maxtor drives is the bearings on them just seem to always go. I mean, I suppose that's probably because, I mean, they've been in servers their whole life, and just the size of them and the number of platters, it's going to wear on the bearing. Now the first thing on here is I've had to look on the net to find where the drive selectors, and it's right here at the back. Now the standard thing for drives of this era, these MFMs, is they use a twisted cable, sort of similar to what you'd use on your floppy drive. Now the twist is in a different place, so it's important not to get your cables mixed up. If you want to play it real simple, you can do what I've done here and just use a straight through cable. That does mean you can you can't just plug and play drives as you please. You do actually have to set the jumpers, and that's what we're going to do here. So it's set to the normal drive position, which is the second option. So that would be, on a straight cable, that would be drive D. And on a straight cable, so we're going to go to drive select 1. I'm just going to try and move this little jumper across one slot. And of course, if you Google the model number for your drive, you should be able to find the settings quite quickly. Okay, so let's see what happens. Spinning up. So that sounds good. So I'll take you over to the monitor and we'll go through run through diagnostics. Okay, so the first thing I've noticed is that my drive C error has gone away. So got a little menu here. This is quite cool. So we've got CMOS setup and run diagnostics. So we're going to do setup first, so we're going to reconfigure this drive. Now, I doubt there's a built-in type for this, so we've got user type, which is not the most common thing in the world on a 286 2024. We have 8 heads, so that means we only got 4 platters, which is nice. Write pre-comp is 1025 because we don't actually want that. Landing zone, probably the same, I imagine. Oh, it says landing zone 0 actually, that's interesting. Sectors, it's always 17 on MFM. There we go, 68 megabytes formatted. It actually makes sense. So we can escape out of there, write data to CMOS and exit, yep. Oh, we don't care about that anyway. Yeah. So the drive's actually working perfectly fine, we've just got no data on it. So let's go into diagnostics and see the state of it. Low level format it. Okay, so diagnostics. Now this is one of the coolest things I've seen in a 286. So I'm hoping that camera is in focus here. So I've got hard disk format, auto interleave, media analysis, performance test, seek test, read verify. Now this is all the kind of stuff you might get with that Norton Utilities diagnostics package. And here it all is for the hard drive built in. You've got floppy keyboard video as well, but hard disk format's the one we want to do, and we can also do auto interleave. So this one might be interesting. So drive type 47, yes, 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 just confirm all those details. So that's how the cool thing here is that you can just enter the details here as well. I have no idea what that means. So proceed, yes please. Yes, I know. And it's behaving. You can see it there, just going through all the cylinders, you can hear it ticking away. And the, yes, so if you're wondering actually what's going on here, is what it's doing is it's formatting a whole bunch of tracks with one interleave setting, then the next batch with the next interleave setting, and then it's seeing how much performance it can get out of the drive. So we can find out our ideal interleave setting. And by the look of it, it's probably going to be interleave 1. This is a fast 286, so that could have something to do with it. Usually on an XT it'd be about 3 or 4. And the interleave is just how it positions the sector on the drive. I mean, old XTs can't read one sector after the other, or they just can't get the data through in time, so the drive ends up going the whole way around again just to get the next sector. But on something as fast as this, it's less important. So we're currently optimized at 1, that's what it's telling me. So let's finish. But the bearing on this drive is quite quiet. Now that it's been running for a while, that's pretty quiet. The only thing that's really weird is the cat noise when it turns on. So this one might be a winner. We're almost finished now. Oh, this is going to be a long night if I'm doing that with all these drives. But yeah, really happy with this drive. I mean, that's quite quiet and that's ticking away quite happily. I haven't had a single error with it. You just changed that drive select, hooked it up, and away she went. Alright, so just enter to return to the main menu. Okay. So I wonder if that verified, because that did not complain about any bad sectors. Okay, so read verify test 47. Yeah, you know what to do. Yeah. Proceed, yes. I'm just going to do a verify test. Because it has to have bad sectors on it. I mean, even on the top of it, it's got 2 defects. It's pretty good for Maxtor. But either way, I love this little built-in diagnostics. I think it's fantastic. So I'll probably come back with the next drive because I'm pretty sure this one is perfect. Shit. Yeah, one thing. I just put my hands on the transistors that power the motor on the back, and yeah, they're rather toasty. Which is, I know it's normal for these Maxtors because I have a lot of Maxtors and I know how hot those power transistors get. Okay, so what's up next? Got an XT-1140. Checking the drive select. Well, this says its drive select numbers around the wrong way. But this one may actually already be set up correctly. It's just that it's got 6 and 5 jump it instead of 1 and 2, but the connectors are around the opposite way that they were in the 180, so I very much doubt that somebody set this to drive select 6 because that wouldn't make any sense. So we're just going to power it up and see what the deal is. Now I'm going to power it up upside down just so I can change the jumper if I've got it around the wrong way. Also, if something on the circuit board goes pop-pow, you'll be able to see it. Which would be nice. Okay, so we're just checking that out. Connectors are around the right way. The little things to stop you putting the plugs in backwards, if your connector's missing them, basically the red line goes to the side where the little cutout is, because the cutout's actually on pin 2. There's lots of dust. Ugh. I don't usually like powering these drives upside down just because, well, for my sanity, I don't like things going pop in front of me, so yeah, cross fingers. Oh, spinning. Oh, shut up. And this drive has, actually it might have less cylinders, so it could be just trying to drive the drive to the wrong cylinder. Yeah, C drive error. So, yes, we don't have 1024 cylinders on this one, so we just tortured it there. It's unfortunate. So, yeah, I know. Probably got nothing on it anyway. There we go, so it's formatting. I was just going to say, oh, it's really slow. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see the screen, that's rather bad of me. I was going to say, oh, it's really slow, but you got to remember, it's got 15 heads. There's 8, that's a bad sector. Oh no, it's not, sorry. It's doing the optimization. We're optimized at 1. Yeah, because at 1 we're getting just under 500k a second, which is pretty good. I mean, it's only a 286, can't expect magic. So this drive, despite the 6 sounds, actually seems to be a runner. Check out drive select. Yep, that needs to be moved. Because we're using the first drive select, which is usually called DS0, as we're using a straight through cable. Okay, let's try that. And that's a bad bearing. So we'll go auto interleave. Yep. Because this is the same model as before. It's the 140. I said yes. Yes. No, it's formatting. So despite sounding absolutely sick, it still works. 472 kilobytes a second. So now we're optimized at 1, now we're actually going to do the actual format. And because, yeah, as I said before, we have 15 heads, it's going to take way too long. I don't have all day, and there's no way in hell I'm putting this drive into a computer. Because, I mean, this sounds terrible. Now, if you're out there and you know how to pull apart this particular model of drive, these XT-1000 Maxtors, and you know how to get some lubrication back into that bearing, because I'm sure that's all it needs. It just needs a little bit of light oil that I couldn't get in from underneath, and I don't know how to go in from on top without destroying the thing. But I'm sure it just needs some lubrication in there. I've had a lot of other drives from other manufacturers where if you get a bit of oil into that bearing, it goes silent. But with these, I don't know. Maybe just running it upside down for a while, maybe that'll work. Who knows? But we've got one more drive to test, so we're going to plug that one in. And maybe later I'll come back to Noisy here. But Noisy seems to be doing the business just fine. That's a sad drive. Okay, so we're going to spin up the Micropolis on the, is it, I'm not even sure how you're supposed to pronounce that properly. So we're just going to see what happens, see what noises it makes, and see whether the computer recognizes it or not. Oh, and smoke just came out of it. Usually when smoke comes out of a drive, I usually stop trusting it. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't like drives that smoke. I should turn it over and see what's going on there. So this is something you don't see every day. This is around 1990 these drives were made, and they're 1.2 gigabytes each, and they run off a 50-pin SCSI interface. Got a little DAPDEC 1524 in there. It's got a boot ROM. So yeah, so we've got different drive selects on the drives. One's terminated, one isn't. There's the label for you. And we're just going to see what these guys do. I haven't even powered them on yet, so we're just going to have to find out what happens. I mean, one of the last drives I just tried out just started smoking on me from an electrical board failure, so no idea what's going to happen. And I'm just hoping this poor power supply doesn't mind spinning up 2 of these bad boys at once. Yeah, so we're just going to see what happens. Just using our little 286 here with a monochrome monitor. And yeah, put it on the tripod and we'll give her a power up. So yeah, so now we're just going to see if we've actually got drives on the bus. And there we are. 2 Impress 94601. So yeah, drive selects 0 and 1, that's perfect. Hey, let's see if these boot up. Not sure if it's going to like booting up off a 286, but we'll see. That may not even be from a PC, so who knows. Oh, memory mismatch. Always. Oh, it's a non-system disk. Oh, that sucks, but there very well could be some data on here. But we can see those 2 drives work perfectly. I'm going to have to find myself a case to put these guys in. First of all, let's try drive 1. I need a format disk. 992 megabytes, sure. Are you sure? Yeah, go for it. No host adapter error. Oh, let's try this one. Well, this one seems to be okay. It's just that top one's not very happy. I mean, that could be just a jumper setting. Yeah, finally finished. So one of these drives seems to be a worker. I'm just going to mess around with that top drive now. I'm just going to see if I can actually get it to run. Okay, so the only thing that I've actually changed here is we just removed the other drive from the system. So it's just this top drive, and I'm just going to fire it up. So it sounds like it's passing itself just fine. But it did that before as well, so yeah, SCSI disk utilities. And there it is there, still turning up. Let's go. I don't really want to go format disk because this takes a while if it works. Nah, it failed straight away. So the drive below it is on identical settings as the top one, so it's not a setting situation, it's not a cable situation, although I will try moving the cable. I'll just do that now. We just at least eliminate that one thing. But yeah, I think that could actually just be a actual fault with the drive itself. So I'll try a different connector. This one's unterminated. So this drive has the terminator resistors in place, and it's got the jumper set there for it to do the termination. So we're just going into disk utilities again. There's our drive there. Nah, exact same error. So that top drive is toast. They were probably both removed at the same time, but the bottom drive works fine. Maybe you get a grunty 486 or something. That'd make an interesting Windows 95 box, I think. I think Windows 95 would trash the hard drive just enough that you'd be able to enjoy that good click noise that it makes. So, you know, one of the drives works, one doesn't. That's not too bad. I mean, it doesn't mean I've got a spare PCB, and perhaps if I do some more research, maybe I'll actually find out what's wrong with the top drive, and we can have both running in something. Although I don't have a lot of cases that are really designed for dual 5¼ inch drives like that. My IBM RT would love it, but I don't have the SCSI controller for that, so that's a job for another day. But I mean, that was a pretty good win. We had one Maxtor with a noisy bearing. We had three perfectly good Maxtors, and a Micropolis that smoked out, and 2 Seagates. Okay, so that didn't turn out too bad. We had a 50% success rate. The drive's on the right there. I mean, you've got the the Seagate that wouldn't format, the Micropolis that smoked out, and the Maxtor that was too noisy, with a bad bearing. And there's 3 on the side here. This is 1.2 gig Seagate, 140 meg Maxtor, and an 85 meg Maxtor. And they run just smooth as silk. So I mean, one of those would be actually going into this 286, which has a nice empty drive bay, as you can see. So yeah, I mean that's quite a good outcome. I mean, when I paid $66 for the drive, so you work out 50% failure rate. It's about $25 New Zealand per drive. So it's about 15-20 US per drive, which is, you know, it's not too bad considering those 3 drives work perfectly fine. I mean, you could put those in a computer and run it for years, and I'm sure they would just keep on trucking.